Attention, attention! Barbz, we are in a state of emergency.
Oh my god, are you serious?
Yes. I'm not going to say her name because she shall forever remain nameless because she's officially jumped out the window. But I think it's safe to say that that girl
has been cancelled. Officially cancelled.
Officially.
No longer and will never be welcome to the kingdom.
My room for wanting better. Should I just settle forever?
Hey guys, this is Aladdin.
This is Arabia.
We are back for another episode of
the We Don't Know Yet show.
Of course, as you guys can tell by the intro to this video is going to be about that girl attacking the queen, Nicki Minaj.
The only queen that we will ever know.
And will ever worship. Maybe not worship.
No. Don't worship. Don't worship her. Let's not say that. That's too far. Too far.
Let's just jump right into it though. So, Friday night, I'm getting off of work and I'm traveling home and I'm looking at social media and I'm reading tweets saying that that girl attacked the queen. And I'm like, no, this is just fake news. This is just publicity stunt. Honestly, I haven't really heard too much about that girl since, you know, she's had her baby with her baby's father and, you know, things of that nature. She hasn't really been in the limelight.
Too much information about her.
So I haven't, you know, when I read that headline, I'm like, this is clearly false. Next thing I know, about 10 minutes later, I'm getting video footage and I'm like flabbergasted.
I feel like instantly, soon as we saw the video, I'm sorry guys, I'm going to go in and out of my British accent because this video is about the queen. So we go in and I woke up and it's like we go in and out and it's like I can't believe it that somebody really had the audacity to really, and I'm getting in close to you so you can see me, to attack the queen. Do you understand this?
This is the thing that pisses me
off. It's bonkers.
Completely. Why would you ever feel in a million worlds that it would be appropriate, even if you wanted to approach someone, to do it at New York Fashion Week?
And that was my take on it. I felt like I'm not, for whatever the reasons are, we're not going to discuss right at this second, but for whatever the reasons were, and I'm not a mother, but you address it in a better way. There's ways, there's levels to addressing it, and you do not at any moment get out of character like that. And if you do get out of character, step up when there's not security around. You don't step up when you know that security's going to be around. They're definitely going to be blocking you off, sis. Like, what was you thinking?
This is just my whole thing on it. There's a lot of things with this headline, with this story, and even with that girl's rant that, to me, that just don't add up. And I'm not being biased because, obviously, I'm a Barb. I love Nicki, have been a fan since early 2008 when someone put me onto her back in her mixtape days. However, there are things that are just not adding up. After the headlines and, you know, the video footage and all that thing was out on the social media, then to put the icing on the cake, she then goes to Instagram and she, you know, does a rant. And in her rant, she says, I allowed you to sneak diss me. I've allowed you to try to stop my bag. And one thing I'm not going to do is allow you to talk about my daughter. You like comments about my daughter or something to that nature. This is what I will say. Everyone in the United States, in the UK, in China, all over the world, the Barbz are very, very in tune when it comes to the queen. And we take anything that we can and we capitalize off of it. If the queen had liked a comment about that girl's daughter, that's something the Barbz would have seen because we see everything.
And it would have been screenshot.
It would have been screenshot. It would have been
the same way how that girl had a screenshot of what she said, that she wished that someone's daughter or their child that they would die.
Oh, she actually said that's why. She was arguing back and forth with someone and said, and that's why your child died because of such and such. And I'm like,
and you have the audacity to come for the queen?
And to me, I'm like, even if the queen had said something about your child, that would be your karma. Not to justify it or not to make it right, but you can't literally wish death upon or say that this is why someone else's child died and then turn around and say that someone's talking about your child and you're not going to stand for that and you literally did that to someone else. Make it make sense.
And she's not going to make it make sense. That's the crazy part about it.
She's not ever going to be able to make it make sense because it's lies. She said what she said to justify her behavior at New York Fashion Week because how is the queen stopping your bag? Like, let us know because...
And let's be realists because people have said Beyonce has stopped people's bags. Everybody else, with the whole Carrie Hilson situation. And that's understandable. I mean, and I hear you. But my thing about that is you're doing songs with J-Lo. You're doing songs with Bruno Mars. You're doing songs with like Maroon 5. I'm not even going to go through the list of her resume. This woman is not stopping your bag, sis.
You were just at the MTV Video
You just
Music
opened. Legit just opened. Then you threw a shot. Tried to sneak this. Like, sit down. Sit down.
It just doesn't make sense to me. And I'm just not understanding why, even if you felt like, she did something that you didn't like, that you thought the time and the place was to do it at Fashion Week. But to rewind a little bit, the biggest part about this does not make sense to me is you said in your rant, you addressed her one time and she didn't say anything. You addressed her a second time and she didn't say anything. She's always copping a plea. Claiming the queen, Nicki, is always copping a plea. So why is it that you were able to address her 2 other times and the world not know about it and you guys were able to be face to face? However, this particular time, it had to escalate into a fight. And if you wanted to fight her, you couldn't address her like you did the other 2 times and then proceed to, fight her if that's what you wanted to do.
But what was that same energy at the VMAs?
Or in the Met Gala. It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't add up.
I think what it is because Queen Radio is popping right now. And she needs something to come back with. Her album was good. It was cute. You guys loved it, I'm sure. But now it's like she gave you that time. She gave you that time to do your thing, to have your baby, to be in the media. She gave you nothing but your time. Like, go ahead. And now that she's come back out with an album, she's going on tour, she's selling her merch, she's doing all those things and doing Queen Radio. Now all of a sudden,
the Nicki hate train,
and now she's stopping your bag. Why? Because her performance was everything at the VMAs?
And you weren't even able to perform when you just put out an album? And you clearly weren't pregnant and clearly had dropped the baby.
Well, we're not mothers, so we don't want the mothers to come hounding on us because that's what they're going to do.
They're going to come hounding on us because we're Barbz and the Barbz are the most hated fan base, which I don't understand because everyone has a loyal fan base. Chris Brown, Beyonce, Lady Gaga, Jay-Z, the list goes on, so on and so forth. However, Nicki's fans, the Barbz, that are in the kingdom, were hated. And I just don't understand why. But one thing I know I'm not going to stop. I'm pretty sure the other 91.2 million Barbz that follow her on Instagram are not going to stop. So, I don't know what to say. But what I will say is fighting at Fashion Week...
It's trashy. You know what I mean?
It's beyond trashy. It's like... I hope you enjoyed that because I'm pretty sure that was your last invite. And now you'll have to do like the rest of the non-invites and see, the fashions when the A-list celebrities get invitations to the shows.
But then again, we just never know, because I feel like everybody and their mother, from Jeremy Scott on down, is on the Nicki hate train.
This is true. A lot of people are on the Nicki hate train because the queen, she's at a point in her career where she's allowed you to talk negative about her. She's allowed you to slander her. She's allowed you to say that she's a flop, or she's a sellout, or she's not going to last, or she's canceled. And literally, every single time people come at her with that energy, she does the exact opposite of what they say she's going to do.
Exactly.
So, just like she said in a recent interview, you can't get rid of me.
So stop trying.
Like, you can't get rid of me. She's been doing this for 10 years now. She's her 4th album in, 2nd world tour. Has Queen Radio, #1 radio show on Apple Music. Like, you cannot stop this lady. So, if you're not going, you don't have to get on the Nicki hate train, but you don't have to be on the, you don't have to not love her, but you don't also have to be on the Nicki hate train. You can just be silent, because I'm not a fan of that girl, and I never speak of her. This is probably the most I have spoken of her, because we're in a state of emergency.
Yes.
And it won't be tolerated in the kingdom.
It won't.
Guys, that's all we have time for today. My name's Aladdin. You can definitely follow me on Instagram at ALLADDIN, the God.
And this is Arabia, also known as Arabia Askew. So you can find me at Arabia Askew on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and YouTube. So please make sure you subscribe to my video.
Barbz, say it with us.